When I was younger, mornings were always a rush. Wake up, grab coffee, skip breakfast, and run out the door. But now, at 70 years old, I see mornings in a completely different light. They are not something to get through. They are something to protect. I believe the way you spend the first hour of your day, especially after retirement, can shape your entire life, not just your schedule, but your health, your happiness, and your peace of mind. In this video, I want to share 7 simple morning habits I follow before 9 o'clock that help me feel more alive, more grounded, and more in control. They aren't complicated, they don't require a gym or a strict plan, just a little intention. If you're retired or getting close and you want to wake up each day feeling clearer, lighter, and more connected to life, stay with me. These 7 habits changed my mornings, and over time, they changed me too. When it comes to starting the day, I've learned that how you begin often decides how the rest of it unfolds. For me, it starts with what I drink. Not coffee, not juice, not anything fancy, just a simple glass of warm water. I used to laugh when people suggested that, warm water first thing in the morning, that's it. But I've learned it's not really about the drink. It's about what it does for your body after a long night of rest. When you sleep, your body goes hours without hydration. At my age, that can mean stiff joints, a dry mouth, and sluggish thinking. That's why I begin every morning with a full glass of warm water. Not cold and never cold, just slightly warmer than room temperature. It goes down easily, and I can almost feel it waking everything up gently. Most mornings I add a slice of lemon. It brightens the taste and helps with digestion. 2 or 3 times a week, I'll add a small piece of fresh ginger. If my throat feels scratchy or the weather is cold, I mix in half a teaspoon of raw honey, and not for sweetness, but for comfort. This little routine takes 5 minutes at most, but it reminds me that I'm choosing to treat my body with care. After 70 years, it deserves care, not punishment, not shortcuts, just simple, consistent respect. I don't gulp it down. I sip it slowly, sitting by the window or standing on my back porch. Sometimes I whisper a quiet thank you under my breath. Thank you for another day. Thank you for the chance to be here. It might sound silly to someone younger, but when you've lost people, when you've lived through real grief, those quiet morning sips feel like a blessing. No, this isn't a miracle cure. It won't erase pain or fix bad knees. But when I start my day by rehydrating or by giving my body something it actually needs, I feel more alert, more steady, and more prepared for whatever the day brings. If you're retired or simply slowing down, try this tomorrow. Before you check the news, before you make your coffee, before you pick up your phone, you have a glass of warm water. Make it a ritual, not a chore. It's a small act of kindness toward yourself. And the older I get, the more I believe that how we treat ourselves in the morning sets the tone for how the world treats us in return. There was a time when breakfast meant very little to me. I'd grab a piece of toast, maybe a donut, wash it down with coffee, and move on. I didn't care if it was balanced or even real food. It was just something to get through. After retirement, when life slowed down, I began to notice how I felt after those empty breakfasts. Heavy, sluggish, jittery from caffeine. Worse still, I'd crash mid-morning and wonder why I felt so off. So I made a change. I stopped skipping breakfast, and I stopped treating it like an afterthought. Instead, I began treating it for what it is: a fuel for the rest of the day, especially at my age. Now every morning I prepare what I call a gentle breakfast. Something warm, light, and steady. Nothing that overwhelms the stomach. Nothing that spikes blood sugar. Something that quietly says, we're going to take care of you today. Most days it's oatmeal or rolled oats, slowly cooked with water or almond milk. I top it with blueberries, a dash of cinnamon, and a spoonful of ground flaxseed or chia. Sometimes I add a banana or a few walnuts. It's simple, but balanced: the fiber, protein, healthy fats. On other mornings, I'll have a soft-boiled egg with whole grain toast, or Greek yogurt with berries and a light drizzle of honey. Once a week, I treat myself to avocado on toast with olive oil and black pepper. The key is keeping it clean, whole, and easy to digest. And I always sit down to eat. No television, No distractions. I chew slowly. I let the warmth settle in. Sometimes I eat on the back porch with a light breeze. Other days I sit by the kitchen window and watch the birds. When you eat with intention, your body responds with gratitude. My digestion improved. My energy leveled out. My mood lifted. I wasn't crashing on caffeine and sugar anymore. Yeah, I was nourished. I used to say I wasn't a breakfast person. Many people still say that, but often what they really mean is they haven't found a kind way to eat in the morning, something that feels caring instead of rushed or heavy. So if you're in that place, you're retired, slowing down, wanting to feel steadier, start gently. Change how you eat in the morning, not drastically, just thoughtfully. Give your body foods that are warm, soft, colorful, and alive. It knows what to do with them. It's been waiting for you to notice. When I was younger, I barely noticed mornings at all. I rushed through them, eyes half open, always headed somewhere. Retirement changed that. Suddenly I had time. But at first, I stayed indoors drinking my water, eating breakfast, starting the day inside both physically and mentally. Something was missing. I felt heavy, stuck in my head. One morning, almost by accident, I stepped onto the back porch. No shoes, just socks. The sun was barely up, the air was cool. I stood there holding my tea, and something shifted. My breathing slowed. My shoulders dropped. My mind quieted. The cold wood under my feet, the breeze on my skin, the sound of birds waking up. It felt healing. Nature was saying, "You're here. This is still your world." Now I step outside every morning, even if only for 5 minutes. Sometimes I stand on the porch. Other times I take a few slow steps across the yard. I look at the sky. I breathe deeply. I let the light touch my face. It's not just about fresh air. There's something grounding, almost spiritual about meeting the day outside before the world starts talking at you. It reminds me that I'm not just alive, I belong. Science agrees, too. Morning light helps regulate your internal clock, improves sleep, and sharpens alertness. But beyond that, it reminds you the world is still beautiful and you're still invited into it. If you live in an apartment, sit on the balcony or open a window. If you're in the city, step onto the front steps. The place doesn't matter, showing up does. Movement used to mean pushing myself, sweating, counting reps. But at 70, I see movement differently. It's not about building muscle, it's about staying connected to my body. Most mornings I spend 5 to 10 minutes stretching gently. Not yoga, not a workout, just slow, respectful movement. I raise my arms and breathe. I roll my shoulders. I tilt my head side to side. I circle my wrists and ankles. Sometimes I sway. Sometimes I sit and lift my legs. There's no right way, only the way my body asks to move that day. The point is to move. Stiffness sneaks in quietly as we age. Stretching keeps the body honest. And it changes more than my joints, it changes my mood. I feel more awake, more present, more myself. Then there's presence. When I was working, I multitasked constantly. Now I choose one simple thing each morning and give it my full attention. Pouring tea, folding a towel, sweeping the porch. No phone, no background noise, just the moment. And in those moments, the past and future fall silent. There's only now. This isn't about productivity. It's about respect for time, for life, for myself. I also feed my mind before the world gets loud. Not news, not emails, something gentle. A few pages from a book, a line of poetry, a sentence written in a notebook, or sometimes, just listening to the quiet. When I do this, I carry calm with me through the day. I move slower. I speak more kindly. I worry less. And finally, every morning I choose one thing to look forward to. Something small. A call with my granddaughter. A walk. A favorite meal. Sitting on a porch at sunset. That one small thing gives the day shape. It reminds me I'm still moving towards something. Still choosing life. You don't need all 7 habits. Start with 1. Drink your water slowly. Step outside. Stretch your arms. Write one sentence. The first hour of your day isn't just routine. It's a reminder that this day is yours. And no matter your age, it's never too late to begin your morning with meaning.